Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone that taught us his word. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect across the planet Earth, pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. I just want to talk about, how the triumphing of the wicked is yet for a short time. You know, eventually this man will go down, and eventually the Lord is going to avenge his people. Right now you got all these deportations, these ice raids that are going on, all these prophecies coming to pass. But eventually the Lord is going to, punish, these other nations, man. Specifically, the tribe or the nation of Edom. Starting with the nation of Edom, man. And then all these other nations are going into slavery as well. But first scripture is Jeremiah 49 and 12. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken. Yeah, we had to drink of this cup of slavery, these curses, the Lord put all that on us. And now it's time for you to go into slavery. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Hey, it may seem like you're going unpunished. You've been ruling pretty much since the time of the Greeks, the Romans. And you went down for a little bit, and you were rebirthed, through the Renaissance. You came back into power. You've been in power ever since. And you think you're not going to go down, but you're going to go down, man. You're going to be punished. Thou shalt surely drink of it, man. You're going to reap double, what we got. The curses that are on us are going to go on you. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse. And all the cities thereof shall be pressed to a waste. Basra, that's the city of Edom, man. So he's talking about the Edomites here, man. Next scripture is though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Yeah, though hand join in hand, you can have your little hands across America, hands across the world, you act like you're coming together in peace and love and all that. But the wicked is not going to go unpunished, man. He remembers everything, all that you've done, all the blood that you shed, the blood that you shed here in America. Scripture say, woe unto the bloody kingdom, man. This place was established on blood, the blood of the Native Americans, man. Gad, the Seminole Indians, man. As well as, the Southern Kingdom, man, slavery and all that. So the Lord remembers all that, man. The wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. The elect of Israel, man, they're going to be delivered from this destruction at the end of the day, man. Yeah, so remember, the Lord remembers, your tab, Lord remembers all that you've done, all the blood that you've shed, and the wickedness that you've done to his people, man. The Lord's going to avenge his people because he requires the past. There's Ecclesiastes 3:15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. But the Most High required that which is past, man. Yeah, he seeks the past, man. He desires the past. He understands the past. He's about the past. He doesn't forget the past, Like now, our people want to be joined hand in hand with these other nations and with the wicked and with Esau. Want to love them and all that. But the Lord ain't forgetting. The Lord ain't forgot all the atrocities that this man has done to our people, man. Furthering the affliction. this is further infliction. The Most High sanctioned us to go into slavery, but afterwards, we had to do it. All that Jim Crow, the lynchings, you know, the torturing, the castrations, all that came with that time in Jim Crow. The sundown towns, the burning down of our cities. The Lord remembers all of that, man. And He's not going to quit the wicked, man, as the scriptures say. But yeah, next scripture is Job 24. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, for the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yeah, the joy of the hypocrite, man. Just like we go back to these ICE raids and, those immigration and these deportations, you know, all these guys that are, under Trump and Trump himself and Trump's wife, they're all immigrants, man. They're all a couple of generations out of immigration themselves, man. They're not full on Americans, you know. Gad and Northern Kingdom, America was once Mexico. Mexico was once America, you know. So they're being hypocrites when it comes to that. But that's all. But that joy that they get from what they're doing, that's all but for a moment. The triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yeah, the triumphing of the wicked is short, man. It may seem like they've been ruling forever, but there's gonna come a time when they're gonna go down. And really, that time started around the 1970s. When he made his nest among the heavens. There was Apollo space missions during the 70s. That's also the same time when the word was pushed, or the truth, after the 3 days and a half was accomplished. When Albert Bivens, pushed his word on the truth, that's when America first started to go down slowly and steadily since the 70s. Now it's ramping up. The snowball effect. There's a huge snowball effect. Now, just during the 70s, the Lord said, when you build your nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down. And that happened during that time, man, with the Apollo space missions and the space station that was put up there. He made his nest in the stars. And now America, ever since then, America's slowly and steadily been on that decline, man. America hasn't been the same since, the 70s. So yeah, man, the triumph in the wicked is short. And we see these prophecies coming to pass, man. Uproars of the people sparking up again. We're this close to martial law. The Marines have been called in. So we'll see how the rest of we're only halfway through the year, man. Halfway through the year. Knowledge has increased. This AI is taking off. A lot of jobs are going to get lost to this artificial intelligence, man. And it's been a few months. Like this is what it's called, VO3. You can barely tell. Within the next few months, the next year, that AI is going to be pretty much be perfected. Other than that, the digital currency, and now it's going to be made mandatory with this chip. So yeah, once all the pieces are in place, man, all the pieces pretty much are in place. But once, everything becomes mandatory, things really start to kick up. That chip is starting to get pushed. When that time of Jacob's trouble really starts to kick off, that's when man, we're at that time. Ultimately, during that World War III, when the missiles begin to get shot off, man, and Yahushai delivers his elect, that's when this man's time is up. But we're real close. And once Yahushua comes back and establishes his kingdom, man, that's when, they're going to drink of that cup. It's Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. Yet he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, man. So all these nations at one point in time, had us in captivity. So that's the Most High seeking the past, Most High requiring that which is past, you know. So it's going to be a righteous thing to put these people in slavery, man. And that's when they're going to go punished. That's when they're going to be punished, you know. We just read it, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. We had to drink of that cup. We had to drink of it. Now it's time for you to drink of it. We just read, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Some of all these nations, man. Read the book of Judges, man. We went into captivity under all these nations, man. So they're all going to go into captivity, man. But the only difference is there's not going to be any real resurrection of life. For Esau, he's going to be completely genocided. He's Obadiah 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. For the Lord Yahweh Bashak Yahushai have spoken it. The Lord spoke it, man. The Lord has sworn it. He gave an oath by it back in Jeremiah. He says, Jeremiah 49:13, for I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashak Yahushai, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse. All the cities thereof shall be perpetual wastes, The Lord has spoken it, man. There shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. And that's the end game right there, man. That's all she wrote for the Edomites. Last scripture is Deuteronomy 32 and 43. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people, man. So that will render vengeance to his adversaries, man. And he will avenge the blood of his saints. Flip that to the AMP. Rejoice, O nations, and his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance on his adversaries, and will atone for his land and his people. So that's a beautiful thing, man. So, Jake is going to win. The Israelites are going to win. These are the nations that are going to go unpunished. They're going to drink of that cup. The Esau, and they're going to drink of that cup, man. The Lord's going to require the past. You think you may have gotten away with it, all that you've done to our people, but you didn't get away with anything, man. With that, shalom.